Welcome, everyone, to the HTL Cup Series Las Vegas 400. Welcome, YouTube, to the show. Patreon has been here watching Countdown to Green. Now the whole world gets to watch Race 3 of the HTL Cup Series season from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Sin City comes alive with the sound of thunder on Monday night. Qualifying is not far away, less than 20 seconds from qualifying here. And we are so glad you're with us for what should be a very fun race here tonight. Your points coming into the Las Vegas 400 here tonight. Brent Roberts leads the way over Zach Meredith. Emily Howell and Christina Ryan, third and fourth in the points. Anna Patrick Oberstadt. Oberstadt not present tonight, on vacation in Montana. Safe travels on the way home there, Patrick, if you're watching here live or on demand. Caitlin Height in sixth. Alfred Denny seventh. Philip Snipes in eighth. The Daytona 500 winner, only racing once so far this season. He's still top 10 ahead of Zach Apperson and John Matthews, who is also not present tonight, battling an illness. We hope he gets well soon. Pacey Wyja, Hunter Whitlock, your top 12 here tonight entering Las Vegas. Brady Smith, Bailey Thompson, Blake Henderson, Josh Susie, Dustin Hall, your top 17. Susie, top 16. If the playoffs began today, Susie would be the cutoff for those HTL Cup playoff positions. Thankfully, a lot more races to go. A lot more chances for drivers to improve positions here. The first open setup race of Season 8. Qualifying is underway here in Las Vegas. And so let's begin. Let's start with a driver who was not here a week ago. Let's take a look at Bailey Thompson. 41 drivers on the racetrack. One driver will fail to qualify tonight. Expected 43. A couple of differences here means that we only have one car going home. We'll see who that is. They're marked in red, the open cars in danger of failing to qualify. Thompson, first car on the racetrack. We'll see how this lap goes. Austin Mongold, former pole sitter of the HTL Cup Series, the Coca-Cola 6 or the Bragaship Freight Lines 500 a couple seasons ago. Thompson goes fastest at the moment, only driver with the time on the board. Emily Howell goes slower. Byron Jones goes slower. Thompson, fastest of three. We'll see how things pan out. Blue Jade, Austin Mongold have to set lap times. Austin Mongold's time looking decent there for Beagle Denny Racing. Across the line for Mongold. It's second fastest. He's safe. Christina Ryan, six-time ABN most popular driver, was top 5 fastest in practice. Not feeling great at the moment. Hoping she feels better soon as well, but going through it, going through the motions here tonight. Has had a fun time in the Gen 6 cars on the super speedways. Now in the Gen 7 here on the intermediates. Christina Ryan's time. Let's see where that goes. It goes provisional pole, 29.045 for the former ABN World Champion. Hunter Whitlock on a qualifying lap. He's an open car, marked in red, as you can tell on your screen. Starting a lap time now. Stephen Oberstadt has provisionally taken over the front row with Ryan. Sawyer, Chafin, and Thompson, your top 5. A lot of time still yet to roll. Henderson's tagged the wall. His qualifying's over. Perry and Roberg crashed in qualifying. They will start at the back. Sasek crashed. His time will not be allowed. He'll start at the back. Hunter Whitlock across the line. He's been feeling good. He's been vibing here in Season 8. He goes fourth fastest. Good time. 29.171. Davis Moore Jr. on a lap time right now. Can he get to the front of the field in qualifying? Across the line, 29.161. It's third fastest. Pacey Wygant was fastest in practice. He is on a lap time right now. Will this be good enough for pole? It seems like an Ascent driver has a chance to do so. It won't be Sasek. He crashed. Perry crashed. Wygant got really close to that safe barrier. Will this be pole? 29.032. is not enough. 29.049, adjusting for the timing line. It is front row, but it is not pole. Nick Pressey just now rolling out on the racetrack. Apperson completes his lap and goes 5th fastest. So, Tombstone Motorsports, Unforgiven Motorsports, I should say, with the 4 and the 80, have some pace in those Ford Mustangs. There's 3 of them, and all 3 of them are top 10. Ryan, Apperson, and Chafin are all top 10. Thompson, the highest qualifying Tombstone Motorsports car, is currently 10th. So Unforgiven Motorsports, the satellite team, has outdone the parent team here so far. We'll see what Pressey's lap time looks like. He's been working a lot this weekend trying to put something together. Well, will it be for the Brooklyn native, whose Knicks have been unstoppable on the basketball court? Pressey goes 4th fastest, looking good on the racetrack here tonight. Frazier's lap time did not count. Tagged the wall. Hunter Peach coming across the line, the number 50. Where does the defending HTL Cup Series champion land? Provisional pole. NFG Motorsports gets a car at the front, and it's the defending champion. Hunter Peach takes it away from Christina Ryan, and it's not by a wide margin. Mark Parkhurst on a lap, the 77. Open car. '38th career start for Parkhurst. If he can qualify well right now. 19th fastest. And I believe that's good enough. Arnold on a lap time now. A lot of cars crashing and qualifying. Sasek, Frazier, Perry, Roberg, Henderson, and Denny all crashing out. Arnold looking for some pace here. It's a Toyota at the front of the field. It's Hunter Peach, the defending champion, making his 98th start. .29.2 for Josh Arnold. Only good enough for 16th. He'll share a row right now with Austin Mongold. More cars coming out of pit lane right now. 2-time former champion Josh Susi on the racetrack, ready to roll. Where will he land? Time will tell. Still some heavy hitters to go running. Josh Susi, Caitlin Height, Dustin Hall, Bren Roberts have all yet to set a qualifying time. They have not emerged to the racetrack yet. We'll see if that changes. Hunter Peach. Currently provisional pole. Can Josh Susi take it away? Using all the racetrack he can. Is that provisional pole? No, it's front row. And it's champions occupying the front row. Christina Ryan down to the second row. Kevin Gibney Jr., one of his best qualifying efforts. 3rd fastest. And Gibney Racing Division suddenly are packing a punch. All 3 of them top 10. Davis Mule Jr. in the 9th position in qualifying here. Good stuff for the team there. Dustin Hall on a lap time now. Let's see what he's got. Beginning his lap. 15 pole positions. It's a historic number. But will it be good enough? to help him get to a 16th pole tonight. Important questions being asked. Can he get to the front? A cross start finish line for Dustin Hall. That is provisional pole for the 16th time. Dustin Hall goes to the front. He got pole on the Challenger Truck Series race on Tuesday, and he's gone and done it again on Monday. Dustin Hall, provisional pole. Outstanding. Bren Roberts goes 5th fastest, but will go no higher. My word. That was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Dustin Hall on pole position for the 16th time in his career. It doesn't get a lot better than that. We're going through and we're sorting sort of who ended up out of qualifying there. Blue Jay did not set a qualifying time, so I'm not sure who is out of qualifying here. But qualifying is done and dusted. So now everyone's got 5 minutes to get things figured out. We welcome everyone to the HTL Cup Series. Blue Jade not present, so we will have 40. Everyone that qualified made the field here. Good to know. Well, we've got time here with warm-up. Going to give a shout-out to our premier tier patrons over on patreon.com/ABN Studios. Thank you all for your support so far. Trade-Ups Logan, Dogman2935, Eli Sasick, Jason Scott, Alfred Denny, Weekend Hobby 22, Philip Snipes, Tyler Head, B-Dogs, Colin McDonough, Blue, KJ Gibney, J-Paw, and Jake Potak. Thank you all so much for your support so far. If you want your name read out loud, QR code at the bottom of your screen can help you get started. Every subscriber's name is at the bottom and the ticker at the bottom of the screen as well. We love you all. Thank you all so much for the support so far. We are glad you are with us here for the HTL Cup Series race. 40 drivers set to take the grid. 20 rows of 2. Everyone getting things dialed in here. Some information here about Las Vegas. Was opened in 1996 in its current form. Was facelifted in 2006 to its current layout, which is the 20 degrees of banking in the corners, 9 degrees of banking on the tri-oval and the back straightaway, named after the Nellis Air Force Base. 166 laps for 400 kilometers. HTL is using the IndyCar measuring for this racetrack at 1.544 miles. The NASCAR measurement for this racetrack is 1.502. Big difference, NASCAR uses the white line as the measuring stick. IndyCar in 2011 used the center line of the racetrack to measure the racetrack, and that is what HTL is using tonight. Despite that, despite having theoretically the same length as Atlanta, it is 4 laps longer than what Atlanta was a week ago. So the same race distance in kilometers, 400-kilometer race. Stages the same as it was in Atlanta, 40 and 100, as we were anticipating. We talked about that in the race preview on Patreon earlier this afternoon. Upcoming races for the HTL Cup Series. It's the California 250 from Sonoma. We call it the Sears Point 250. But Sonoma Raceway hosting the first road course race of the season. We go to Phoenix on June 22nd. Kansas, June 29th. We're off the week of Independence Day in the U.S. We come back July 13th for Talladega Super Speedway. And then we head to our second road course race over at Circuit of the Americas, HTL's first trip to Austin, Texas, coming up there next month on July 20th. Different cars. We're running the Gen 7 here at Las Vegas. We run them at everywhere that is not a super speedway, so not Daytona, not Atlanta, not Talladega. 670 horsepower, 358 cubic inch naturally aspirated pushrod V8 engines, as has been the case for the Cup Series cars for a long time now. Symmetrical bodies. That is something that is unique to the Gen 6 and the Gen 7. Gen 5 and earlier, not symmetrical. Rear diffuser, pretty important. Not present on the Gen 6, very important on the Gen 7. Also a smaller spoiler, 4 inches compared to the 9-inch spoiler on the Gen 6 machines. A lot less drag for these Gen 7 machines. And of course, a huge shout out to Anderson Graphics. NASCAR quality without NASCAR prices. Everyone's trying to look good this summer, whether it's for NIS, Road to Pro, or whether you're running real life at ARCA. Anderson Graphics can get you hooked up here using the QR code on the left hand of your screen. Warm-up almost over. Right now, Bryn Roberts, your betting odds favorite, presented by ABN Sportsbook at plus 450. Patrick Oberstadt, not present. He would have been plus 650. Josh Soucy, former two-time champion. Zach Meredith, former champion as well. Also in that top 5, same with Josh Arnold, Caitlin Height, Bobby Blowers, Pacey Wygent, Alfred Denny, and Austin Mungo, your top 10 favorites based on previous results here. And of course, Bryn Roberts, he is the spotlight driver. We'll talk about him throughout the night. His best result, he won here back in Season 5. He finished 3rd last season here in Las Vegas. That makes his average 2.0. Pretty easy to pick out. But he's also the points leader right now after a phenomenal win photo finish in Atlanta a week ago. Going to make things pretty interesting to see how things pan out. Despite that, it is not Bryn Roberts at the front of the field. It is his teammate that will be front and center. So let's go over the starting grid here in Las Vegas. It's Dustin Hall, his 16th career pole position here tonight. He's alongside the defending HTL Cup Series champion, Hunter Peach, in row number 1. A lot of fun there. Watching qualifying earlier. Row 2, some more heavy hitters. Josh Soucy, Kevin Gibney Jr. will be in that row. Teammates there for Gibney Racing Division. We'll see how they pan out. All 3 of those cars look good. Top 10 in qualifying. Ignore that I just hit my elbow on the microphone there. Bryn Roberts, your favorite to win this race, according to the betting odds. He's 5th fastest in qualifying. He starts alongside the 6-time ABN most popular driver, Christina Ryan, starting 6th tonight. Pacey Wygent, fastest in practice. Some work to do for the Ascent Racing Camp here, though, after qualifying down in 7th alongside Steven Oberstadt. Your top 10 is earmarked by Nick Pretzi and Dale Markowski. Some more fast cars. Dale Markowski, the high-octane Truck Series champion. His first race since becoming champion on Saturday. He's top 10 in qualifying. Found a lot of speed late on in practice there. Row 6, Davis Mills Jr. got bumped down to the 6th row after qualifying. Zach Apperson alongside in 12th. Tucker Sawyer, Hunter Whitlock in row number 7 here. Everyone checking up just a little bit and catching back up to the pace car. They're sitting 13th to 14th on the grid. Marcus Chafin, Brady Smith in row 8 here tonight, 15th to 16th on the grid. Bailey Thompson and Zach Meredith, they sit in row 9. They've got some work to do tonight. Your top 20, Austin Mongold and Josh Arnold is how they round out the top 20 here. Row 11, Elias Flores and Emily Howe. They make up that row. Both of them disappointed with where they're at right now on the grid. And they've got some serious work to do if they're going to try to move forward here. Bobby Blowers sitting in row 12 alongside Mark Parkhurst in the 77. Derek Miller and Richard Odie sitting in row 13 here tonight. Byron Jones, Jason Scott, row 14. James Wright and Casey Ellis in row 15, Eli Sasek and Martin Roberg, row 16. Row 17 is where you'll find Caitlin Height, and Mo Perry. Very low part for Caitlin Height. She'll have a lot to work through tonight as this race begins. Mirabella Viscali in row 18 alongside Gary Donaldson. Blue Jade not starting this race, was going to be in the Kyle Busch tribute. You see that car on your screen. Blake Henderson in row 19. The cars behind move up. Alfred Denny moves up to row 19. Louis Frazier in row 20 will stay there. DJ Anderson moves up to the 20th row as well at the back of the field. And with that, it is almost time to go racing. Nick Pressey on pit lane here for the initial start. Hunter Peach alongside Dustin Hall, your pole sitter, as we have an extra lap. And what you're seeing right now is the missing man formation. Dustin Hall sitting back. As we saw in Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600, a salute to Kyle Busch following his passing on May 21st. This is his home racetrack, Las Vegas, a place where he cut his teeth before lighting the world on fire across all 3 National Series. 234 race wins. Again, not enough laps for us here tonight to salute all of them. We will go silent on lap 7 and lap 8 of this race. Lap 7, based on the number he got his last NASCAR win in Dover, just days before his passing last month. And lap 8, the car number he drove for Richard Childress Racing at the time of his passing this year. Richard Childress Racing shared that he was going to be extended. He was going to have a future, and he was going to have a chance to extend that Cup Series career and chase more wins in the future. We've said it time and time again. Our thoughts are with Samantha, with Brexton, with Lennox, the Busch family, all of his friends, family, and colleagues, and all the fans that admired him and adored him for the better part of 22 years. The pace car will pull down pit lane, and it is time to focus on what lies ahead. To the restart zone we go. Dustin Hall brings us to the green flag. The Las Vegas 400 is underway. Side by side, Hall and Susie for lap 1. It belongs to your pole sitter. Dustin Hall leads lap 1. These two battled on Tuesday in the Challenger Series, and they're battling again here. Hall in the middle, Susie on the bottom. We're underway, and it feels good, and caution's out immediately. It looks like trouble further back, and it looks like it might have been potentially with Casey Ellis, and it was. Casey Ellis spinning, and he's got some damage on the back of that 35 machine. Casey Ellis in trouble early. And with that, we will take a look here at what happened here on the opening lap of drama in Las Vegas. We were on lap 2. Casey Ellis looking for his first career top 10 in HTL Cup Series competition. Gets loose on his own. Outside lane, and it just overcorrects right back into the outside lane hard. Bailey Thompson avoids getting collected there. That's where most of the damage, I think, is for Ellis. Ellis, already at the back of the field, was in 36th at the time of the crash and dropped down to 39th place. Nick Pressey did the pit lane start, and I think his race is actually over before it starts. Not seeing him on the racetrack at all at the moment. So trouble for the number 20, who is trying to have a good run here. And they're trying to diagnose that technical issue in a pretty major way. And it looks like a technical issue there for Nick Pressey. It looks like it came at the start, so we'll find out. As we'll take a look here, Nick Pressey. Apparently, this happened pretty early. So there he was on the grid. This was the start of the formation lap. What happened here? Because he was in a pretty good spot after qualifying. Oh. Let's take another look at that, because I'm not sure what happened there. That is bizarre. Gibney was in the top 4. Gibney goes below the white line. Oh. That's what happened to Gibney. That is one of the most bizarre things I have seen in quite a while. So Pressey's day is over pretty early here. And we're getting ready to go back racing here. He is the first retirement of this race in 40th. Casey Ellis in 39th right now on pit lane, getting some more damage repaired, it looks like. Viscali, James Wright, they are topping off with fuel right now at the back of the field. Gibney in 36th. There he is. He got some repair work done on that car after the contact with Pressey. But he is joining in at the tail end of the field. And at the front, it's Dustin Hall and Josh Soucy, ready to go at it once again on our first restart of the night. A crash that involved Casey Ellis and nobody else on lap 2. Resets us to try it again. Averaging 11 cautions here in Las Vegas at HTL. We'll see if that changes here tonight. So far, early caution checks out. We're averaging a caution every 15 laps here at HTL at Las Vegas. They're trying to make it less. Last season we had 10. We'll see if the drivers can own up to that challenge. The track is warm. It's time to go back racing. Dustin Hall and Josh Soucy lead us to the green. Away we go. Pretty good restart there by Dustin Hall. Bryn Roberts got through for second. Roberts in that throwback, that Cheddar's number 8, very appropriate. Teammates first and second now. It's Hall ahead of Roberts, ahead of Soucy, with Christina Ryan up to 4th. Steven Oberstadt, top 5. Beagle Denny Racing looks really good right now. Markowski qualified top 10. Mongold was not doing too awful bad either. That 5th car. On board, car 80. Sitting in 4th in the shadows of Josh Soucy. Dustin Hall leads the way. So far, so good. Dustin Hall leads the way. Bryn Roberts in 2nd. Josh Soucy in line in 3rd. Emily Howe already have 12 spots in this race. 3 wide outside lane. Car 15. Did not qualify well. Qualified 22nd. And already in the top 10 around Markowski. And just rip right in the outside lane. There's Sawyer in the 90, Wygen in the 00, Smeal in the 10. And we go racing here in a pretty big way. Lap 10 completed. As it was in Atlanta, because the caution will push back our lap of silence to lap 18, which is the number that Kyle Busch won his 2 championships in the Cup Series with. If a caution comes out between now and then they would push back to lap 54. We're getting some green flag laps underway. The field beginning to spread out just a little bit. And that is very conducive to more green flag racing like what we saw on Tuesday in the Challenger Series. Battling for 9th, Howe and Wygen. Pretty close battle here as well. It is Peach and Oberstadt side by side, the defending champion. Lost spots early on the initial start, trying to scratch those spots back into 50. And ahead and clear of Steven Oberstadt goes Hunter Peach. Up to the top 5 once again. Emily Howe working around Davis Smeal Jr. Didn't qualify well, has found pace on the race car. Didn't have a lot of practice pace either. None of the Arrowhead racing cars have. Inversely, minus James Wright, all the Arrowhead cars have gained spots. James Wright topped off the fuel on that caution, so he dropped to the back of the field voluntarily. He had gained spots. He was up into the top 26 when he came down pit lane. Emily Howe the furthest forward in 7th. Miller 20th. Height 27th. Not a great spot for her to be at early on. And around the outside, Emily Howe goes. Passes will get harder and harder to make the further and further ahead she gets. Christina Ryan, top 4. Behind Bren Roberts, who has gotten passed by Josh Susie. And the 2 that battled for most of the race on Tuesday in the Challenger Series are battling at the front of the field again here tonight. Hunter Peach keeping Emily Howe at bay. And Emily Howe very comfy at the top of the field, at the top of the racetrack. So is Pacey Wygen, keeping out of the 00. Fastest in practice. Didn't quite have the pace on qualifying. Qualified 7th in the 00 as he battles side by side with Steven Oberstadt. Not many doing the outside lane, but those that are doing it are pretty good. Dale Markowski in the 88, also running outside lane. Trying to defend from Hunter Whitlock right now for that 11th spot. Another car flying high on the outside lane. I believe that was Zach Meredith it was. And Meredith almost got loose. I think got a little bit of bumping from Flores as he tried to get to the bottom of Marcus Chafin. Derek Miller also on the charge for not an Arrowhead paint scheme tonight. A couple of paint schemes look really off for some reason. But it is what it is. Miller around Austin Mongold in the 7th. Mo Perry up next in 21st. Did not set a qualifying time. I believe crashed out in qualifying was the reason why. Now battling right now with the 24 of Byron Jones. Kalen Height behind Alfred Denny at the moment. Sitting in the 25th position, Blake Henderson in that Rowdy Energy 25. Up in the fence a little too aggressive in turns 1 and 2 for Henderson. Keeps it rolling, keeps it in the right direction, but will not gain on the 13. TJ Anderson supposed to be in, I think, Crown Royal number 19 car. Instead, it's coming up all blacked out. Same with Marcus Chafin, but Chafin's car looks intentional because he's got the league decals on the 28. Not the case in the 19. Anderson sitting 31st at the moment. Josh Soucy under pressure right now from the 80. Christina Ryan finding some long run pace now in that 80 machine, that Ford Mustang, beginning to climb forward. And the 80 and the 81 battle once again. It's a tale as old as time. Once upon a time, it was Ryan and Evangeline Porter. Now it's Josh Soucy and Christina Ryan going toe-to-toe. Hunter Peach in the 50 in fourth, the defending HTL Cup Series champion, sitting in fourth ahead of Emily Howe, but not by much. Emily Howe is surging forward here around Bren Roberts, and now it's eyes locked on the 50. Peach got a little loose there out of turn 2, trying to get around Josh Soucy, who is starting to back up a little bit. Don't know if he's trying to conserve tire like what he was in the Challenger Series race on Tuesday. That was a very useful strategy. It helped him get the win. I'm not sure if he's backing up or if he's burned his stuff off too early here. Longer race compared to last Tuesday, so I have a chance to figure it out and tinker with it and retool. But Christina Ryan gets clear for that second spot. Josh Soucy trying to battle back on the inside lane, and to no avail. Shuts the door on the 81, and Christina Ryan up to the runner-up spot behind Dustin Hall. Emily Howe now battling with the 81. A lot of trash talk between those two off the racetrack. They're not going to race each other very fine. It's going to be rough and elbows out. But you don't want to start off on the wrong foot early. It's what cost Josh Soucy the championship last season. Really, the last two seasons. Last two campaigns, he's been in a championship conversation. He's been intentionally wrecked after a lot of bad blood throughout the season. Mark Kissenweather was a part of that conversation at Miami last season. Kissenweather left largely because of the attitude of Josh Soucy. It was a similar situation in Season 6. Soucy defends from the 15 for now as Bren Roberts tries to attack the defending champion. Bren Roberts, your points leader, sitting right now in the top 6, ahead of Pacey Wygant, Davis Meal Jr., Tucker Sawyer, and Dale Markowski getting around his teammate, Steven Oberstadt, for the top 10 spot. Side by side again, the 15 and the 81. The 81 giving no quarter, and they are 3 cars under a blanket. Christina Ryan not being helped by Emily Howe. Typically, Howe and Ryan help each other out a little bit. That is far from the case right now. Howe was very much thinking about putting it 3 wide. Tried to do it, couldn't. And they end up back in a single file line. But a little physicality here on lap 27. You have to wonder if Emily Howe got a little bit of damage from that contact out of turn 4 that lap ago. Josh Soucy, his car didn't look too happy either. They're both now up towards the fence, trying to find clean air, trying to find grip. Bren Roberts around Emily Howe. And I have a feeling that 15 car is no longer 100%. It wasn't a light smack of that safety barrier either. And it does not take much side contact with these cars to really mess something up. I don't see a lot of visible damage, but it could have been suspension parts. If you hit it and it's not flush, it can do some pretty significant problems. Emily Howe up in the wall again, trying to find grip that just isn't there now in the 15. Second time in the fence in that corner in a consecutive lap. Roberts to 4th. Running the bottom of the racetrack. Christina Ryan has closed in on Dustin Hall. Once upon a time, they ride shared a number 1 Ford for Tombstone Motorsports. Christina Ryan now her own car in Unforgiven. Dustin Hall taking the number 1 to Beagle Denny Racing. Three of the top 4 running Team Conti Sim Performance equipment. Bryn Roberts in that conversation as well. Josh Susie running Team Watson equipment. Emily Howe running EA3 Flying Machines. Pacey Wygant running some Outlier equipment here. 3 wide. Christina Ryan got a little loose, ran up the racetrack there, and Bryn Roberts saying, thank you, I will take the door open and go for that second spot. And everyone is stepping over themselves for second place, and it's allowing Dustin Hall to remain in the race lead with 9 to go in stage 1. As we mentioned, stages lap 40 and lap 100 here tonight. And everyone's got some work to do to get things dialed in. Open setup. This means you can make adjustments on pit lane. And everyone will have to try to do that throughout this race. Christina Ryan now middle 3 wide. I think her tires may have burnt out a little bit. Getting passed by Howe, getting passed maybe by Wygant. Slides in front of Hunter Peach, who cut the 80 a break down the back straightaway. And Christina Ryan battling hard with that 00. It's a pretty close conversation here in this top 10 right now. Emily Howe once again battling to 81. No quarter given. But Emily Howe has recovered from that issue earlier as Bryn Roberts has taken the lead away from Dustin Hall. I don't think there was much of a fight there either. Teammates there first and second. Emily Howe up to third. Josh Susie up to fourth. Couldn't stop Emily Howe that time. And now he's got to focus on Hunter Peach, Christina Ryan, his teammate Davis Mule Jr., and Pacey Wygant just behind him. It's a group of 4 attacking the 81 here through turns 1 and 2. Peach goes topside. Ryan to the bottom. Susie in the middle. And Bryn Roberts trying now to walk away from his teammate at the front of the field. Tried to save his tires later on. Dustin Hall says that that's a weakness of his. He hasn't quite figured that part out with this car. He's got the short run pace. A caution late in this race. That number 1 car is an absolute threat. But the long run pace is lacking on that number 1 machine. And he said that that's just a driver thing at this particular point in time. He was a little bit better with it on Tuesday in the trucks. Still trying to figure that out right now. Emily Howe now side by side with the 16-time pole sitter. Emily Howe trying to race the bottom of the racetrack. Drives up a little bit. Gives just enough space. Whoa, a huge bump. Josh Susie moves the 15 out of the way. They're all battling for second place. Emily Howe did not appreciate that one bit. Got shuffled down to 7th. Second time contact's been made between the 80 and 81 and the 15, and it's not gone well. More contact there. Dustin Hall middle 3 wide. Davis Mule Jr. squeezing up the racetrack. It is elbows out right now in this top 10. It is fierce. Susie moved up to second, but he's not the fastest car in this group. They've lost a second and a third to Bryn Roberts here. Wygant goes topside. I think he clipped the fence. If he didn't, he got super close. Hunter Peach up to third. Electric stuff here in this stage. An early caution on lap 2 has been the only hiccup so far in this race. No stage breaks, as we mentioned so many times so far this season. There's stage points at the end of lap 40 and lap 100. There's no stage break, but we get it anyway. It's a crash. And we're not entirely sure who. It looks like it might be the 34 Blowers. It is. There he is. The Ulti Energy 34. Spun around on the tri-oval. Bryn Roberts will win the stage because the stage points were awarded at the time of caution if it's within 5 laps of the end of the stage. We're on 2 to go in stage 1. So Brendan Roberts, Josh Susie, Hunter Peach, Pacey Wygant, David Smooth Jr., Dustin Hall, Emily Howell, Tucker Sawyer, Dale Markowski, Eli Sasek, top 10. All score points. And here's what happened to the Minnesota native. And he's in front of Derek Miller, and I think he just gets loose on his own. I think Derek Miller is going to give him a bit of a push here, but it's nothing a whole lot the 16 can do. Caitlin Hike gets out of the way there. And Derek Miller, for the 3rd race in a row, involved in a mess not quite of his own volition. Flowers getting loose there at turn 4. And into the fence he goes. Now take a look here at speed. This is Byron Jones, not Bobby Blowers. We'll take a look here, and we'll back it up so you can see how quickly it all happens. And we'll play it at full speed. Again, Derek Miller, 2nd car in line. Bobby Blowers, the furthest one forward. Caitlin Hite, the 13, sitting just behind them at this point. And Blowers just snaps a little bit. Can't save it. And only 2 cars involved here, but it will end the stage a couple laps early. And Blowers keeping it up near the fence, trying to stay out of the way. They had all moved up into the top 20 conversation, so they were all moving forward. Blowers just losing it a little bit. And we had seen drivers get a little bit punchy out of turn 4, getting a little bit more unstable as the run went along. And that was the case there. And so pit stops taking place at the moment. Brendan Roberts, first one out of pit lane. And then it's Hunter Peach, Pacey Wygant, Josh Susie, and David Smil, your top 5. Dustin Hall, Tucker Sawyer, Emily Howell, Eli Sasek, Christina Ryan, your top 10. Saying Bobby Blowers is first, but it is not accurate. I believe where his pit stall is puts him in a very precarious situation. But he is not first on the racetrack. It's going to have to correct itself here in just a moment. There he goes. Because your new top 5 is right there. And Blowers comes out on the racetrack in the 37th position. Casey Ellis was on pit lane for 20 minutes. Just now came back to the racetrack. That is tough. .38 cars on the lead lap. Flores, last car on the lead lap here. As we get ready to go back running. Roberts, Peach, Wygant, Susie, and Smil, your top 5. As we get ready to go back racing here, this time for the start of stage number 2. As we get ready to go back racing here. It is Brendan Roberts, Hunter Peach at the front of the field. Away we go. Roberts leads Your points leader out in front ahead of Pacey Wygent, Hunter Peach in third, Josh Susie fourth ahead of Smeal, Hall, Sawyer, Hal, Sasek, Christina Ryan missed out on stage points by 1 position in stage 1. And everyone scatters big time. Hunter Peach tagged the fence, I think, pretty hard because everyone scrambled to get around him. Not seeing damage on that 50, but he's dropping spots hand over fist. Roberts at the front of the field. Everyone else had to play avoiding action. Susie got around Pacey Wygent. Smeal and Hall also got around the 0-0. Emily Howe in 6th. Tucker Sawyer in 7th. Eli Sasek in 8th. Christina Ryan up to 9th. Blake Henderson, biggest mover of the race so far. He is up into the 10th position. He has made it to the top 10 after finishing 4th in Atlanta a week ago. He's got some pace at 25 when it comes race time. Peach still losing spots, down to 18th place now. Things happen fast here at Las Vegas, that is for sure. And you don't need to gamble to lose it all. Davis Muir Jr. up to 3rd. Team Watson setups now sitting 2nd and 3rd on the racetrack. Dustin Hall 4th, Pacey Wygent your top 5. Here comes Wygent attacking the 1 at Dustin Hall. Sasek in 6th, Sawyer in 7th. Hal, Ryan, Henderson still your top 10. But it's a close fight between Ryan and Hal, the roommates in Charlotte. Hal goes top side, Ryan to the white line. And Hal stays in 8th. Davis Moon Jr. trying to defend the inside lane from Wygent, but Wygent, I think, prefers the outside lane anyway. I don't think that was to much avail. Eli Sasek, after crashing in qualifying, starting at the back of the field, he's also up 26 spots now into the top 5 and trying to follow his teammate Shadow. Sasek and Henderson both up 26 spots, your biggest movers so far to the first 48 laps of this race. Caitlin Hyatt, Mo Perry, both up 19 spots. They're next up on that list. Everyone rolling around at the moment. We had a pretty good green flag run in stage 1. We're hoping for the same here in stage 2. Only 2 cautions so far. The average is 11. Last season we had 10. Everyone hoping for better this season. Open setup. Last race last season was not that way. The stats from the previous seasons, while helpful, don't mean a whole lot right now. Bren Roberts in flying form, though, looking for back-to-back race wins. Teammates were 2nd and 3rd. Josh Susie is now alone, dealing with 2 Ascent Racing cars. It's Wygent and Sasek. These 2 have battled frequently over the years. And Susie trying to stay in 2nd place, using the outside lane to defend. 81 car is quick. It doesn't seem like he's the quickest car on the racetrack, though. He's going to need to rely on some strategy instincts. Caution's out for the 3rd time, and it's for Blowers again. For a 3rd time, Bobby Blowers. I say it for the 3rd time. The caution's out for the 3rd time. It's Blowers' 2nd caution involved. And that gives Casey Ellis a lap back. He's 35 laps down. He'll need a lot more. And hopefully we don't get 34 more cautions. So what happened to Bobby Blowers here? Is it another spin out of turn 4? It might be. This time he's ahead of Marcus Chafin, the Georgia native in the 28, that all-black car. And it's again out of turn 4, just snaps on his own. And this time, not a whole lot that Marcus Chafin can do. Try staying off of him. Gary Donaldson also goes for avoiding action there. Olivia Pereira follows through behind Marcus Chafin. And Blowers is struggling mightily right now. Had only moved up into the 32nd position before spinning again. And I cited that incorrectly. It was not Olivia Pereira on the racetrack. That was Elias Flores. Olivia Pereira was one of the two cars that did not show up tonight in the 96, I don't believe. At least I'm not seeing Pereira's car on my timing screen. So, cars coming down pit lane here on lap 54. Sorry, lap 53. Now it's lap 54. Josh Susie will inherit the race lead for the first time. Pacey Wygant in second. Eli Sasek in third. So Ascent Racing stays out there for the most part. Davis Boone Jr. in fourth. Tucker Sawyer top 5. Emily Howell, Blake Henderson, Caitlin Hyatt, Mo Perry, Bailey Thompson your top 10 as they inherit as a lot of the field comes down pit lane. 15 cars stay out. Pretty big numbers there. And now we have a split-up strategy call. We'll see how it pans out across the rest of this race. Our third caution of the night. See, Casey Ellis takes the free pass. And one of those laps are now back to him. We appreciate everyone being here with us on a Monday night for racing for the Las Vegas 400. As we get ready to go racing for the third restart of the night. A final salute to Wild Thing, to rowdy Kyle Busch at a track that he loves so near and dear. And join us for this restart. It's Susie and Wygant in front of the field. The heavyweights sprinkling the field tonight. Only one gets to win. Stage 2 underway. It ends on lap 100. Let's get back down to business here in Las Vegas. An 8-lap salute to Wild Thing Kyle Busch, the sound of thunder. All that was heard there. And how sweet the sound here in Las Vegas for a 2-time champion, a 240-time race winner. Josh Susie leads the way for Gibney Racing Division. His teammate Davis Muir Jr. in second, just behind him. And then it's Ascent Racing, 3, 4, 5, and for a moment was top 6. Pacey Wygant stuck behind now Tucker Sawyer as they tackle Bren Roberts running that 8 car we rode on board with for a moment during that salute. Bren Roberts, the points leader, running one of the only cars you could realistically run. That Cheddar's number 8 that Kyle Busch drove for Vision Childress Racing for so much of the last 2 years of his life. Trying to battle to the front of the field here tonight. He's got some work to do. Coming to 34 laps to go in stage 2. There will be green flag pit stops here. Getting around Caitlin Height as the battle for the top 5 intensifies behind Tucker Sawyer. "38 cars on the lead lap from Susie to Mirabella Viscali on an island right now in that 38th position. Also on an island, Gary Donaldson in 37th, Richard Odie in 36th, with the rest of the group battling around the 14 of James Wright and the 19 of DJ Anderson. 2 spots in one go for Odie as he moves forward. 3 wide ahead of him, Parkers, Flores, and Chafin. Anderson's dropped back a couple spots as well. Was in that top 10 conversation, now down to 14th behind Zach Meredith. Caitlin Height up into the 6th spot, though. Got around Wygant, got around Sawyer, following Bren Roberts on the way through. Next up is Mo Perry. In the 4th position is Mo Perry. He's up 30 spots. Height's up 27. Sasek up 28. Those are your biggest movers so far here in Vegas. 31 laps to go in stage number 2. Everyone's sweating it out just a little bit. Emily Howe trying to recover up in the fence. Pretty big spots lost there. Sawyer, Oberstadt, Hall, I believe that's Apperson and Meredith. They both go through. Emily Howe has struggled with the outside lane, wants to be up there, but is just struggling to keep that 15 car off the fence. Caitlin Height, now the leading Arrowhead Racing driver, has figured it out and has moved forward, now up into the 4th spot, getting around Bren Roberts as Wygant tries to put his hat in the ring, and caution is out once again, and it's for DJ Anderson in huge trouble here. Chafin, Anderson, and others. This is over half a dozen cars in the 4th caution of the night on lap 71 near the back of the field, it looks like. Viscali late to the party here. Several cars involved. Miller, Scott, Chafin, Anderson. It looks like Hunter Whitlock got a piece of it in the 67. James Wright got a piece of it. At least 6 cars. I counted more than that. We'll go back and take a look here. 4th caution of the night on lap 71. And now drivers have some more decisions. This was going to be a pretty easy one stop to get to the end of the stage. Now you can kind of get to the stage and you got to figure out what you're going to do in the stage 3. So what happened? Let's take a look. It started early. This is with Jason Scott, the 91, and Derek Miller, the 16. This started in the tri-oval on the front straightaway. What happened? Let's take a look from high above. This is the spotter's eye cam from above the grandstands here in Las Vegas. Oh, Jason Scott just target fixated on Blowers there and came across the nose of Derek Miller and sent them both careening towards the infield. And I think they're going to overcorrect here. Miller does, coming up off the grass. He caught air a little bit. Oh, huge hit for them. Nowhere for Mark Parkhurst to go. Chafin almost sends Jason Scott into the air and into a flip. Netcode contact there for James Wright, trying to avoid his teammate there. Scott bouncing off of Chafin. They're all going to come back up the racetrack. DJ Anderson goes for a wild ride. Makes contact with the 28. Biggest crash of the night by far is our fourth caution of the night. And it's a pretty aggressive one. We'll take a look at full speed. Hard impacts all the way through. Ooh, hard impacts for so many drivers there. See if we can ride on board here with him. With Mark Parkhurst. Unfortunately, not a whole lot he can do there. He was already on the bottom of the racetrack, and the ricochet just a little too hard there. First start of the season for him in Cup. Not where he wanted to be. His 38th start. We'll likely see him spend some time on pit lane now. And you see, not a lot you can do to see when the hood's popped up on the car here. First retirement since Nick Pressey failed to start. Marcus Chafin, his day is over. Several cars on pit lane though now, with Miller, Scott, and Ellis on pit lane once again. Flores and Parkhurst still circulating with wounded race cars, as is DJ Anderson, 19. As we get ready to go back racing, some interesting strategy calls were made. 3 cars stayed out. Zach Meredith, Christina Ryan, Dale Markowski will lead us to this restart ahead of Susie and others. 4th restart underway. Old tires versus fresh tires. This is pretty much going to be take what you get. Susie on the outside lane. Meredith got clear. And he's going to hope that Susie gets held up just a little bit. Christina Ryan, really good run there out of turn 2. I'm surprised by that. But here comes the fresh tires. Susie can just get so much more grip out of the middle of the racetrack. Meredith comes up, though, blocks off the 81 for a moment. Meredith led that lap, but Susie takes the lead into turn 1. And here comes Caitlin Height, the 13. Did not set a qualifying lap time. Didn't crash in qualifying, just didn't take part. And now sitting up in the 2nd position, getting clear of Ryan, getting clear of Meredith. Ahead of Sasek at the moment. Car coming down pit lane. I think a couple of them are. Flores and Anderson are coming down pit lane here. Jason Scott's day is officially done. So some more retirements rolling through here. Parker's still rolling, still circulating, but with some significant work to do. Here comes Sasek. We know Ascent Racing's got something with those outlier setups. Team Watson versus E83 versus Outlier at the front of the field as far as the setup shops go. Pretty big ordeal, I would say. Those on old tires dropping like a rock. Christina Ryan doing everything she can. But you see the melee. Everyone is stacked up behind those cars that stayed out. And it's caused a backup here. It's single file for most of the top 10, though, now. Sawyer and Hall side by side for that 10th spot. We'll see if it pans back around later on in this race. There's the reason why those three cars did it. It just didn't work. Not here. Perry battling Bryn Roberts, your points leader, side by side with the 97. Also in conversation, Emily Howell there, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Eli Sasek going for the race lead inside lane of the 81. These two were also in contention for that win in the Challenger Series 6 days ago. And Sasek leads in Vegas. Susie now second, Height in third, Wygent in fourth. Keep an eye on him, the 00. He's sneaky good at the end of these races. Still got some time to go. We're not quite at halfway. We'll be at halfway here at the end of the next lap. But that 00 car knows how to put himself in good spots to get good results. Derek Miller's day is done for the third race in a row. He will not see the finish here in the HTL Cup Series. Jason Scott out, Marcus Chafin out, Nick Presti did not start, Casey Ellis on pit lane, DJ Anderson, Elias Flores also on pit lane. 33 cars still running, all on the lead lap down to Mark Parkhurst, the wounded car, rolling around right now. Off pace, but he is scoring more points than those behind him that couldn't go the distance. And he's hoping for more accidents like that if he can stick it out. He's trying to stay at a touching distance from Casey Ellis and Elias Flores. Flores now several laps down in the 34th position. Susie once again trying to battle Eli Sasek. Got a little loose there, 3 and 4. And it stacks up both Sasek, Susie, and Height in this three-car assault at the front of the field. Susie once again trying to find a way around the 9. The 9 goes middle. That's the lane Susie prefers to be in, and Sasek's taking it from him. Kalen Height now attacking the 81, the 13, trying to move to second place. Some interesting characters in this top 5. Sasek and Height. There's some bad blood there. Height and Wygent. Some blood there. Ascent versus Gibney Racing Division. There's some bad blood there. They're all top 5 at the moment. And then you got Mo Perry. He's just happy to be there. He's doing really good so far in that 6th spot. Biggest mover. Oh, sorry. Third biggest mover behind Height and Sasek. They were both up 30. Perry's up 28 spots from where he started this race. So not bad. Sasek continues to lead the way over Susie and Height. "13 laps, the end of stage 2. Close battling there. Sawyer gets around Apperson for 8th. Apperson running top 10 at the moment. Having himself a day so far. He's getting passed, though, by Hall. And I think reality is beginning to kick in just a little bit. Trouble for cars all over the place. Whoa. Huge trouble. Height, Wygant, and others involved. And I think there were more than that. That was the battle for third. And we talked about bad blood. This does not help the issue. Wygant with some damage on his car as well. Would be expected. But Caitlin Height, I think, wore the worst part of it. Mo Perry got turned. And he's got some significant damage on the 97. Fifth yellow of the night will give us less than 10 laps to go in stage 2. So let's take a look here at what happened in this battle for the third spot. And we will focus a little bit here. We'll move our focus to Pacey Wygant and Caitlin Height. And this could be a matter of just a car getting loose out of 4. We'll have to back it up here. Oh, that might have been contact. This is going to be unpleasant. The 13, the 00, the 10, got a front row view of all of it. Looks like Caitlin Height trying to go to the bottom of the racetrack. Wygant was drifting up the racetrack there. No, Wygant got loose right before Caitlin Height made contact. And it skewed Wygant out just a little bit. That's a very important little facet there. ABN quarter speed, slow motion. And I want to see if I can pause at the time that he gets loose. Right there, he begins skewing out. And we'll go and do frame by frame here. His car, the back of that car is already sliding before Height makes contact there. Height makes a little bit of contact. It doesn't straight up spin him. He just never gets that car back. Tags the 13. Davis Mills Jr. gets a huge piece of this. Perry gets a huge piece of it. That's where Perry's damage comes from there. Huge moment there, though. We'll take a look at Perry. Did he get anything else in this, or did he just... Looks like all the damage he got was when he made contact there with Wygant as he was spinning. So teammate contact there. Some really good cars involved in that. Some really good cars involved in that. And we're not far away from going racing once again here in Las Vegas. The lights out on the pace car. It is Dustin Hall, Zach Apperson, Stephen Oberstadt, Brent Roberts, and Kevin Gibney Jr. at the front of the field here for this 5th restart of the night. Gonna be an interesting restart. Top 11 stayed out here. They all came down pit lane on lap 72, the last restart. Josh Susi on back. They just came down pit lane on lap 89. So this is gonna be an interesting shootout to get to the end of stage 2. Let's see how it pans out. Green flag flies once again. 5th restart of the night, and it is Dustin Hall out in front. Everyone thanking track position at the moment. I think a car tagged the fence there. It might have been Henderson, the 25. Still rolling right now in the 6th spot. Here comes Mongold. Here comes Roberg. And everyone jumbled up behind. Hall, Oberstadt, Apperson, Roberts to get into your top 5. More cars in the fence. That's Flowers, who's had issues with turn 4 already. And trouble! Susie turned! Susie up and over! Sorry, that is Byron Jones up and over, the 24. Huge crash. Byron Jones' day is done. 6th yellow. It does not end stage 2. 7 to go. It needed to be 5 to go or less. So we will go racing for stage points at the end of this caution on the restart. We're only going to have 2 or 3 laps on the restart here before stage points are awarded. Byron Jones' car is completely toast, and not surprising, he went for a wild ride. Insanity. And this is what happened. They're 4 wide, and we'll have to back it up here because this was not new. Fresh tires in the 81 and the 9, in the 15. They were all on fresher tires here. The 34, the 24 on older tires. They had stayed out. This was the overlap. This was the closing rate that we were afraid of with older tires versus newer tires. It wasn't so bad when it was just 3 cars out on older tires. When it's 11 cars and you're looking at stage points so closely in the face, you start putting yourselves in risky positions like this. And it's just contact there between Jones and Susie. Sasek very lucky to not get hooked and right up the hill. Tucker Sawyer gets a piece of it, but it's not horrible. Bailey Thompson gets a bigger piece of it, and that's what sends Byron Jones into a pirouette and a sidewinder flip down the straightaway. Susie very lucky that he didn't get any worse damage here. Sawyer got a piece of it. He is still on the racetrack, though, which is insane. Byron Jones' day is 100% over. And that's gut-wrenching. And we'll take a look here in full speed. It happens quick. Everyone went for a ride. I think the smoke that you saw there on the apron came from Mo Perry and Tucker Sawyer. Take a look at him here, because he had a wild view of it too. On board the 97. Yeah, the smoke you saw was from Tucker Sawyer there, the 09, the 90. There he is. Perry's had his piece of trouble early. Got away with this one. And Josh Susie's day is over. Byron Jones on pit lane. Josh Susie, is his day over? It is. 100% it's over. He will not finish here in Las Vegas. That was Hunter Whitlock leaving pit lane. He also got some damage that needed repaired. Still has more damage on that 67 car, but he's going to try to keep pushing with it. And hopes that another caution comes out tonight here in the last couple laps of stage 2. 6 cautions on the night so far. The average was 11. After stage 1, it looked like we had a shot of going long. Stage 2 has proven that that was not a correct assessment so far. 10 cautions last season. We're 4 away from matching it. It's Dustin Hall, your pole sitter at the front of the field. His teammate, his team owner, co-owner, Steven Oberstadt alongside. Bren Roberts makes it 3. Beagle Denny Racing Cars in that top 3. Zach Apperson in 4th. Kevin Gimney Jr. in 5th. Blake Henderson top 6. Martin Roberg, Austin Mongold, Bobby Blowers, Eli Sasek, your top 10. The field is all jumbled up, but away we go on this restart, the 6th of the night. For stage points, Bren Roberts won stage number 1. How does stage 2 end? Green flag is out. And away we go. 3 to go in stage 2. Outside lane stacked up there behind Oberstadt. Gibney couldn't quite take advantage of all the availability, the space that he had at the front of the field between them. Your strongest cars have had issues. Henderson tags the wall again. Under threat now from Roberg. And it's 3 wide. He's in the middle. Roberg up top. Mongold with him. They're not going to finish this. No, 100% they're not going to finish this. It's Meredith around. And that will end the stage. Meredith went around. They were 4 wide. And have we told you that 4 wide doesn't hardly work? Because it doesn't. That's how the last caution just happened. I'd say lesson learned, but they'll do it again. Meredith, though, gets off a lot luckier than Byron Jones and Josh Soucy did. So Zach Meredith, let's take a look at what happened. And you see 4 wide, the outside lane got checked up there behind Roberg just a little bit. That's the 95 of Brady Smith, I believe, on the outside. The 97 of Mo Perry to the inside, and just not enough space to make that work. And so Perry, we talked about him. He had a little bit of trouble earlier. Found a little bit more here. Not so bad. This hurts Meredith a lot, though. That contact with the wall. It's tire barrier there on the inside, obviously from the Jeff Gordon crash back in 2010. But it still does a lot of damage to the car. So Meredith's got some work to do on that number 2 machine now. Stage has come to an end. Dustin Hall wins stage 2. And now the reset for stage 3 begins. Emily Howe and Christina Ryan, the roommates from Charlotte at the front of the field, they have not played nice today. That is for sure. We saw that aggression earlier in the race. For everyone just now tuning in, this is now the 3rd and final stanza of the HTL Cup Series Las Vegas 400 here. Near the Nellis Dunes and the Air Force Base that takes its name. Coming to 65 laps to go. Top 5, Emily Howe, Christina Ryan, Eli Sasek, Tucker Sawyer, and Brady Smith is how they line up. We'll see how this last stage goes. Your top 12 stayed out on this pit stop. Dustin Hall, the first of those that did come down pit lane, he is in 13th behind Pacey Wygent. Seven cautions in this race so far. The average is 11 for HTL in Vegas. Last season was 10. I have a feeling if we're playing over-under like we normally would on Twitch, I think a lot of people would be picking the over right about now. which is unfortunate because we had amazing racing earlier on in this race. Stage 1, minus the lap 2 spin for Casey Ellis, was phenomenal. "29 cars on the lead lap. Elias Flores, the first car off the lead lap, 6 laps down at the moment. As we get ready to go racing once again. Hal and Ryan, front of the field. We're underway for the 7th restart of the night. Flores back down pit lane. More damage repair for the 99. Hal, Ryan, Sasek. Top 3, Brady Smith in 4th. Mo Perry battling with Caitlin Height for the top 5. The 13 on the charge forward once again. You see the damage on the 97. Still, the nose of that car, not perfect. And he will be feeling it. These cars are more aero sensitive than the Gen 6 cars we saw a couple weeks ago, or over the last couple races, Daytona and Atlanta. Perry just trying to push forward here. Hunter Peach, he's recovered pretty nice. Christina Ryan set the fastest lap of the race that last time by, and has caught up to her friend and roommate. 28.667 was the best lap for Christina Ryan, and that is the best lap of the race so far. But couldn't get around the 15. None of these cars in front of the field, funny enough, have been the best cars tonight. They've been good. They've not been great. They've had fatal flaws. Emily Howe couldn't race in traffic. Struggled the entire time and still has to rely on the outside lane here. It seems like long run pace just isn't there for the 15. It isn't really there for the 80 either, but for different reasons. Christina Ryan runs the bottom. She doesn't search for the grip. She's stuck to that white line, and it doesn't work after a period of time. You have to start moving up the racetrack, and she just can't do that effectively in the 80 car. Sasek and Wygant and Brady Smith, they look good, but they're not blowing anybody away. They seem well-rounded, but if we get a short run, if, like, say we get a caution late, we get a short run to the finish, the Ascent cars aren't that good in a short run. They're also not the best cars on a long run. They're good in a middle link stint. You give them 35 laps, they've got something. It's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Which way, Western Warrior? Short run pace, long run pace, and middle pace. You get none of the three all together here. Dustin Hall, the pole sitter, I'd say he still probably looks one of the strongest. But even then, he's struggling to get through traffic. He came up pit lane on lap 100. These cars in front of him came up pit lane 11 laps earlier, and he's just stuck behind him. He can't get around. Bryn Roberts in the same boat. He's 18th right now. They were good because they had the cleaner air. Now they're in traffic and they're struggling. That could be part of the problem. The 80s using the same stuff. Got passed by Brady Smith, and it just needs clean air, needs space that just isn't there right now. Emily Howe has clean air, and clean air is king right now. The Ascent cars, I think, are a little bit better. And you're seeing that. Emily Howe running the middle. Eli Sassick gets to the bottom and rides through the corner so much smoother. That was a really good example. Close the door right up. Less than 2/10. He is there. He's got a good car. We saw that in practice, though. Pacey Wygent was fastest in practice. Yo, huge hit for Sassick. And just as I say that, Sassick's car takes a hit, and there is damage on that 9. It's not terminal. He's going to keep going. That right rear took a big hit. Not very often you see a car hit the wall and jump a little bit. That's what that 9 car did. Not pleasant. He's trying to hang in there. Caitlin Height's not going to give him any quarter. They've got a rivalry spanning years at this point. Go back to Fontana Season 3, the finale, and the crash that happened early in that race. If you want the start of that saga. Hunter Peach in the mix, though. The 50 car back in the conversation again. Does he have the car for it? He's got a lot of pace early right now. But he's fallen off. There's a reason he hasn't scored stage points. He hasn't been there when it's mattered. We'll see if it counts. More cars tagged the fence. Sassick again. Smith again. And Caitlin Height. Goodness gracious. And Brady Smith now with some sort of problem. Everyone flirting with disaster here. Wild stuff. Emily Howe by 6/10. And as it has been, whether it's been Dustin Hall at the front of the field, Josh Susie, Eli Sassick, the battle for second is just who's going to step over each other last. And with Sassick and Height, that is a contest that I'm glad I'm up here for and not on the track for. The sparks fly every single time those two are near each other. Hunter Peach in 4th. The defending HTL Cup Series champion is in the conversation for now for NFG Motorsports. Toyota's all over. Was that a car in the fence? Was that Sawyer? It was Sawyer in the grass. He saves it, but loses a lot of spots. Down the order he goes, 25th, 26th. And he'll lose more. Went for a wild ride through the grass, but kept it in the right direction. We stay green. Got a little loose there to force. Hunter Peach just slammed the wall hard. And still made the pass on Height. Okay. That's wild. Here comes Wygent. And these two, you saw how close they just got. Expect more of it. Expect a lot more of it. Ooh, Wygent just scared the daylights out of Brady Smith. Brady Smith was like, I'll take the wall, please. Thank you. Because Wygent almost overcorrected and snapped into Narnia. That's startling. We've seen it happen a couple times out of turn 4 already. Bobby Blowers has had an enemy in turn 4 the entire night. It has been a trouble spot for several drivers. Not everybody. Some love turn 4 right now. And more contact. Josh Arnold this time. Someone needs to go and inspect it for a magnet that is only attracting Toyotas. Please and thank you. Also, by the way, top 7 all Toyotas is wild. That's a bit absurd. 4 different teams. Arrowhead, 1st and 4th. NFG in 3rd. Arnold in the fence. No, sorry. Brady Smith was one in the fence. Whoa. Henderson off track. Off track trying to save it. And he's not going to. Oh, huge hit. Tucker Sawyer. 8th caution of the night. And that's devastating. That's likely race ending. You can see the car bunny hopping off of one part of the car, off the right front. That hurts. Henderson was hoping for a good race here. A good race in Atlanta last week. He was hoping that would be sort of the good vibes. We talked to him in Victory Lane last week, the extended post-race show we do for this series. And he felt good. Not tonight. So let's take a look at what happened there to Henderson. And we're going to back it up. That's Tucker Sawyer, not Henderson. Henderson was already pretty well around here. And there wasn't a caution. I'm not sure what Sawyer could have done in this situation. This is what happened. This is Henderson. Battling with Roberg and Meredith. Was there contact here? Yeah, there was. He tried saving it. That last little pitch to the right was all it took. That's unfortunate. And we have to take a look here. We'll see if we can grab Tucker Sawyer. Unfortunately, it didn't automatically. We'll back it up here. Because he's racing with Mirabella Viscali here. And just take a look. Only so much he can do there, unfortunately. Could he have slowed down a little bit earlier? Yeah, probably. You heard him shift down to second gear, though. He woed it up pretty hard. Henderson down pit lane, several others. Donaldson, Gibney, Sawyer, Thompson, Whitlock, Smith, all down pit lane. Elias Flores has called it quits, joining Josh Soucy, Byron Jones, Davis Miller Jr., Alfred Denny, DJ Anderson, Derek Miller, Jason Scott, Marcus Chafin, and Casey Ellis on the retirement list. It's a long one. Pit stops are done and dusted, and it's about to be green flag time once again. 8th restart of the night. Emily Howell leads, Hunter Peach, Eli Sasek, Caitlin Height, top 4, Bren Roberts, Christina Ryan, top 6. A little over 40 laps to go. Be 43 laps to go when we go back racing here in Las Vegas. Emily Howell, Hunter Peach, front of the field. To the restart zone. A lot of bumping, and here we go. 8th restart underway. Teammates on the outside lane. Friends, all 3 of them. Even if it hasn't seemed like it with how they've raced tonight. Peach trying to drive around Christina Ryan. Will do so. Slides up in front of the 80. Bren Roberts in this conversation. Eli Sasek as well. See the sun beginning to set. Lights are not going to be far away here in Vegas. Here comes Sasek. Side by side with Peach. Peach tags the wall pretty hard, though, trying to give Sasek space. Sasek got out of the throttle, trying to avoid making contact with the 50 and lost spots for it. And trouble further back. A lot of trouble further back. Markowski with a wild save. It splits the field up a little bit. But everyone saved it. Somehow. That's hard to save in turns 1 and 2. But he did a great job in saving it. Height, Peach, Roberts chasing down Emily Howe here. Coming to 39 laps to go. Battle further back, and caution's out. And it's Apperson. We're about to look at what happened. There was battle there between Mongol and Apperson, and it went wrong on the back straightaway. We were actually just about to switch to it because it was looking pretty spicy. And here's why. He gets loose out of turn 2 and gets contact there with Josh Arnold. That was ahead of Eli Sasek. Wygen has to go below the white line there. Massive avoiding action. And Zach Apperson, thankfully not a lot of damage, locked it up pretty well. Avoided that situation being a little bit worse. And the only issue is now he's 27th. He was up close to the top 10 there when he got spun out there. Ninth yellow of the night. And we reset once again. For some that need damage repairs, this is a lifesaver. For others at the front of the field trying to get this race over, bit of a nightmare. Lights are not yet on, but you can see the sun setting behind the mountains here in Nevada. Ninth yellow of the race. The top 17 stay out here on this exchange. Everyone else came down pit lane. A lot of those cars coming down pit lane have been damaged to some degree. And we'll see how that pans out. With less than 40 to go, realistically, those that came down pit lane on lap 121, a couple more cautions, and I think they're good to go to the finish. Tire wear is going to be a factor. 10-lap difference is going to be a pretty big difference later on in this race. Fuel only, though, for Viscali and Meredith. So they're also on the same idea that there's not enough of a difference that they're going to lose significant time. They're already near the back of the field, 19th and 20th for them. So give it a shot. They just topped off with fuel. They didn't think they could make it. Get ready for our 9th restart of the night. So here we are with 28 cars on the lead lap here tonight. All 28 cars running on the racetrack right now are on the lead lap. So those still running have a chance for something magical in these next 20... let's go 28 laps. Getting ready to go. Racing pace car is in. The green flag flies. The 9th restart is underway. 29 laps to go here in Las Vegas. Old tires versus new at the back of the field. Howe and Height, teammates for Arrowhead Racing at the front of the field. Neither have been the fastest race car. The fastest race car on the racetrack's been the 80. And Christina has to check up for Hunter Peach at a turn 4. Roberts goes to 3rd. 3 wide for 4th. And they all navigate Hunter Peach. Christina Ryan got a huge shot from Dustin Hall into turns 1 and 2. Couldn't quite get clear. Steven Oberstadt, though. Trouble further back. Sasek. And there's the yellow for the 10th time. And we match last year's total. And Sasek's day is done. And Ascent Racing's event has fallen apart at the seams. It feels like a lot of retirements there. Sasek joins Sawyer and Flores out. Jason Scott out as well. It leaves Mo Perry in 9th, Casey Wygent in 10th. Brady Smith in 23rd. Not a lot left for Ascent Racing in this event. They've got 2 cars in the top 10, but they're not 100% right now. Let's take a look at what happened to the Grand Rapids native. He gets turned. I think that might be off the nose of Bobby Blowers. We'll have to take a look and rewind this, and I think Byron Jones gets a piece of it too. Let's take a look here. AB in slow motion. Blowers in the 34, Sasek in the 9, Wygent in the 00. The 50 is Hunter Peach. The 1 is Dustin Hall, the 97, Mo Perry. The 9 is the car center of your screen. And Sasek gets tagged by his teammate. Wygent just drifted up just a little bit. Nothing to do with Blowers at all. In fact, he gets pretty lucky there. Odie gets through. Robrick gets a piece of it. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Meredith tags the fence to avoid him. Arnold can't quite do the same. He's committed to that outside. He has nowhere to go. And just shoots the 9 back to the inside lane. But I think the damage had been done beforehand with how hard he hit the outside wall. And he just gets it down off the racetrack, and it is now day done. 10 cautions here tonight. Makes it a tough one. Coming to 30 laps to go. We'll be going green, I believe, with 29, based off of what I'm seeing. Tough pill to swallow for some. A tough race in general for some. As we come to the start-finish line here for 30 to go. We'll be going around 29 to go. That is confirmed now. Arrowhead Racing, front row. Once again on this restart. It's Hal on the inside, Height to the outside lane. Bryn Roberts, Steven Oberstadt, teammates for Beagle Denny Racing in row 2. Former teammates, now adversaries of the friendly kind. Christina Ryan for Unforgiven Motorsports and Dustin Hall of Beagle Denny Racing in row 3. Bobby Blowers for Orlando Outlaws in row 4 alongside the defending HTL Cup Series champion Hunter Peach in row 4. Richard Odie looking for a top 10 here in Las Vegas. He's alongside Mo Perry for row 5. We'll have AB in Victory Lane. Not sure how long the post-race show is going to be tonight, but we will have something, I believe, at the end of the night, depending on who wants to talk. It's been a rough race, so there may not be a lot of talkers here tonight. We'll see how it goes. If we do, it's going to be exclusively on Patreon. The QR code at the bottom of your screen and in the description. If you're watching on YouTube, can get you there. We appreciate the support for everyone that has subscribed to Patreon. And for those that are thinking about it, come on in. The water's fine. Green flag flies for our 10th restart of the night. It's Hal and Caitlin Height at the front of the field. And Height did not get a good restart there. Bryn Roberts trying to clear. Can't quite clear for second. A lot of teams games right now going on. Arrowhead Racing, Beagle Denny Racing, Unforgiven. All in this conversation. Roberts up to second, your points leader on the charge. Here comes Dustin Hall, your pole sitter, up to third. This is going to get very spicy. Car tagging the fence. I'm not sure if it was actual contact, but it was Blowers that the smoke came off of. He's 3 wide with Perry on the bottom, Oberstadt to the middle. Caitlin Height dropped like a rock down to 6th. And they're all chasing down the 15. Who has held on to clean air like her life's dependent on it. Stage 1 and 2 was not friendly to the 15 at all. Somehow it has come around when the lights have come on. But here comes the driver that can 100% take the 15. Both the 8 and the 1 have their target set on the bumper of Emily Howe here in Las Vegas. Less than 30 to go. Next time by, will be 25 to go, or 26 to go right now. Trouble Blowers. And caution is out for the 11th time. Viscali goes for a wild spin, and she's not the only one. They crashed down the back straightaway. She just avoided Blowers. That is the 98 of Frazier involved. And there's others. That is Dale Markowski, the 88, also involved. It looks like it might have started with the 34. We'll take a look. And it starts between the 27 and the 34. I think there was contact there. If there wasn't, it was very close. We'll take a look. Battling side by side, 2 by 2. Blowers in the 34, Perry in the 97, Thompson in the 27, and Mongold in the 7. All 4 for different teams here. And I believe Blowers and Thompson make contact. They were just on the fringe of the top 10. Most of them were in the top 10. It's 3 wide right here. And I don't think Thompson realized that she had a bit of an overlap on the 34. And I don't even know if that contact was what sent Blowers loose. He's been loose most of the night. This is the 3rd time he's sort of spun around and broke loose. Up into the fence after hitting Frazier. Markowski tags the fence here, and I think what we're going to see is that Markowski gets clipped by Frazier, it was. Contact there with Wygen, another Ascent car involved in an accident tonight. Brady Smith almost saw the same fate, managed to avoid it. Markowski trying to avoid hitting that wall as best he can. He does a good job of it. He tagged it once when he got pancaked there by Frazier. And there's not a whole lot Frazier could do getting tagged in that sort of regard. Tries locking it up. Little contact there on the front of the car. They'll try to fix that. Several cars on pit lane. 17 circulating at the moment. Some have taken tires. Notably, Josh Arnold and Richard Odie took tires here on this stop. Kind of an important distinction here. We'll show you a fun statistic here. I'll show you a couple of them under this caution. Laps since the last pit stop. You see a lot of your top 10 came down pit lane on lap 121. Some came down on lap 130. Others coming down on lap 42. Gonna give it a go. And then where everyone started this race, Emily Howell from 22nd to the race lead. Bryn Roberts from 5th to 2nd. Christina Ryan also in row 3 at the start, now up to 3rd ahead of Dustin Hall. Caitlin Height sitting in 33rd. Or started 33rd up to 5th. Ahead of Hunter Peach, who started this race on the front row. Mo Perry from 34th to 7th. Steven Oberstadt from he's where he started. Billy Thompson 17th to 9th. Mongold 19th to 10th. So, pretty big differences there. As we get ready to go racing. 11th restart coming up with 22 laps to go here in Las Vegas. The lights are on. The sun is set off in the horizon. The track has cooled down significantly. And this is going to be an interesting shootout to see how this plays out. Emily Howell is the control car. Picked the outside lane this time. And it's friends on the outside lane, the 15, the 80, and the 13. Let's see how they play things here on this restart ahead of Bryn Roberts on the inside lane. Dustin Hall and Hunter Peach. Pace car is in. 11th restart is active. And away we go. And a lot of coordination there from the roommates. It's not enough for Christina Ryan to get clear, though, at turn 1. And here comes Roberts. Your points leader back to 2nd. And it's Ryan and Hall battling for 3rd once again as they sail into turns 3 and 4. Coming to 21 laps to go. Car in the fence further back. Who was that further back? That looks like Frazier. Billy Frazier was the car in the fence. A bit of contact there between Perry and Height further back in that battle for the top 5. Height had to back out of it just a little bit. Little loop. Oh, Dustin Hall! Dustin Hall in trouble, and this is a big one. Several cars. Height, Perry, Hunter Peach, and Dustin Hall are 12th yellow tonight. And you watched it snap. And that's how quick it changes. We talk about the track conditions. We talk about the sun setting. That's not just in optics. That's not just for aesthetics. There's an actual, genuine feel that comes with that. The track cools down. The way your car feels, it changes across this run. You want to be ahead of that change. And if you're not ahead of that change, you get moments like that where the car just sort of gets away from you. And your pole sitter, who was looking for an outstanding result tonight, now has a pretty beat-up race car. And let's take a look at what happened here. Dustin Hall, his 16th pole position tonight and his 89th start. No contact here. Just gets loose. Felt the air shift from Perry's nose. And that's all it takes to lose that grip. Christina Ryan made a little contact with Perry. I think she gets clear of this. Loses, I think, doesn't really lose a spot there. Ends up in third. Caution comes out here. Caitlin Height gets a piece. Perry gets a piece. And Hunter Peach goes for a ride as well. I think mostly everyone else gets away with that. Everyone's scattered pretty well with most of the cars in the grass there. And the groundskeepers here in Las Vegas have a lot of work to do to get this track back up and running after tonight. A lot of runs through the grass so far. It happens in the blink of an eye. Hall getting some repair work done. He's going to be able to stay on the lead lap here, I believe. But I don't think that car is a race contender anymore, unfortunately. And we have now reached 12 cautions tonight, which is never a pleasant thing, really, to talk about there. But and it's unfortunate, as we get ready to go back racing here, that it has been so start-stop here in the final two-thirds of this race, because it had a chance to be something so magical. Getting ready for this restart, though. Ready to go back racing here. A wild, wild race. With less than 20 to go, the green flag flies. Emily Howe and Bren Roberts get us back underway. Christina Ryan really good on the jump that time. And Caitlin Height's in the conversation too. Didn't lose positions involved in that caution. And got to the inside of Bren Roberts, who lost all help there. Caitlin Height not clear of Bren Roberts though. Christina Ryan is. Bailey Thompson's in this top 10 conversation. Stephen Oberstadt's been there all night. Austin Mongold's there. Abson's back in the top 10. James Wright's there. We've said his name once tonight. He is now top 10. Just like how he performed a couple seasons ago in Homestead, Miami. Same situation now. Quiet, efficient, effective. He's dropping out of the top 10 right now. But he's looking at a good result here, and he needs it. There's a lot of drivers that need it. Martin Roberg's another one that really needs it. That 60 car, that Skittles machine, looks so good and is looking for a result. Christina Ryan got really loose, got shuffled back. You see the number 80 was in that second spot, got shuffled out, and now is outside the top 10. Just got all sorts of scattered here. Through the front straightaway they go. Howe, Hyatt, Roberts, top 3. Bailey Thompson, 4th. Hunter Peach, top 5. Stephen Oberstadt battling for the 5th spot, though, with the defending champion. Austin Mongold there, battling side by side with Zach Apperson for 7th. Josh Arnold, top 10, ahead of Pacey Wygent. And Christina Ryan has continued to languish down to the 16th position, behind Kevin Gibney Jr. A little bit of latency from Austin Mongol, but we stay going, we stay green. No issues yet. We'll see if that changes. Side by side, Roberts in height. A little bit of contact, a little bit of elbows out. A little bit of what we call aero grief. And whoa, Emily Howe in the fence. So is Bren Roberts. Here comes Kaylin Height to the race lead. 12 to go, and Kaylin Height's out in front. A mistake from Emily Howe, a mistake from Bren Roberts. And now Bailey Thompson's in the mix for a podium. Very close racing there. Thompson slides back in line behind the 15. Stays fourth. Oberstadt looking for a good result in that number 3 machine. Height trying to outrun Bren Roberts. That would be. This is gonna be a fun fight coming at 10 to go. The stats don't lie. 18 wins, most in HTL Cup Series competition for Kaylin Height. This is her 100th start. No driver has ever won their 100th start here in HTL. Kaylin Height can be the first. Bren Roberts, his 51st start. He won his 50th. Won last week in Atlanta. Would love a 5th win in his HTL career. Steven Oberstadt won at Darlington last season. Car in the fence further back. I believe that is Pacey Wygen. It was. 3 wins himself, 9 poles. And he's struggling now. Here comes Mo Perry battling with him. Emily Howe has dropped down to 4th. Oberstadt up to 3rd. Thompson in 5th. Apperson in 6th. Car in the fence, I believe that was Hunter Peach. It was. But he's still rolling right now in 9th ahead of Perry. And here comes teammates battling. Steven Oberstadt's got some pace. He's around Bren Roberts here for 2nd. Can he chase down Kaylin Height to win his 2nd race in HTL? Or is this in Height's hands? Coming to 8 to go. Sorry, 7 to go. Completely miscounted that one. Oberstadt in front of Bren Roberts. It's an almost 3/4 gap to Kaylin Height. Bren Roberts in 3rd. Sitting at exactly 3/4 a second. The teammates, they've got to focus here. If you're going to work together, now's the time to do it. Work together to close the gap in on Kaylin Height. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. You see the bump draft there by Bren Roberts. Sending Oberstadt into turns 1 and 2, but letting him grab his line. They know what they need to do. Is 2 better than 1 in this circumstance? Five to go. Kaylin Height ahead of Steven Oberstadt, ahead of Bren Roberts. The teammates doing pretty good right now. Bailey Thompson in 5th, Apperson 6th. Austin Mongol and Dustin Hall chasing each other down here. Mongol trying to chase down Zach Meredith. They both have had interesting nights tonight. With 4 laps to go, it's far from over. Here comes Perry on Peach. Hunter Peach giving him just enough space to find clean air. In through turns 1 and 2. But here comes Zach Meredith. to the inside of Mo Perry, and they're both looking at Hunter Peach. It's tight here. Still tight. And Peach going to try to cover up both. Got to make that 50 car wide. Perry stays ahead of Meredith. I have a feeling this is not over. 3 laps to go and counting. Car at the bottom of the racetrack. I believe that is Pacey Wygen. It is. Wygen staying out of the way of the race leaders. Apperson and Arnold, they battle for position. That is for 6th. Arnold was trying to take it away. Perry trying to battle with Hunter Peach, the defending HTL champion, for that 9th spot. Here comes Austin Mongold to the front of the field. He's looking at 11th. Frazier also off the racetrack, staying out of the leader's way. Commendable for both Wygen and Frazier in that conversation. We come to the white flag. For Kaylin Height, it'll be 1 lap to go, presented by Henderson Graphics here in Las Vegas. It has been status quo. They have not changed the gap between 1st and 2nd. The teammates will now battle in the final lap for 2nd place. Unless a meteor falls from the sky, 3 and 4 for the final time. We'll see a 19-time race winner. Out of 4. For the very last time. Kaylin Height wins in Las Vegas. Steven Oberstadt and Bryn Roberts complete the podium. And a job well done for those at the front. 12 cautions tonight. Attrition was 100% a factor. But you're looking at cars that had pace all night long. Kaylin Height did not qualify, did not set a qualifying time, I should say. Had to work from the back of the field, as did Mo Perry. Both of them top 10 tonight. And it is Kaylin Height at the front of the field that does an outstanding job here. Your race winner here in Las Vegas. All eyes on the 13 here in Sin City. Her 19th career win in HTL. Had a great run in Atlanta a week ago. Didn't quite get the podium there. Got the job done here in a great job, a great fashion. A wild, wild job here. No burnout. We'll see if we can pull the results. Here you go. Kaylin Height, Steven Oberstadt, Bryn Roberts, your top 3. We'll hear from them in just a moment. Emily Howe in 4th. Bailey Thompson, your top 5, ahead of Zach Apperson, Josh Arnold, Brady Smith, Mo Perry, and Hunter Peach, your top 10 here in Vegas. Zach Meredith, Austin Mongold, just outside the top 10, 11th and 12th on the field for them. Dustin Hall, pole sitter. A crash late took him out of contention for the race win. It's a 13th place for the number 1 tonight. Dale Markowski in 14th. Then it's Martin Roberg, Kevin Gibney Jr., Hunter Whitlock, James Wright, Mirabella Viscali, Mark Parkhurst, Gary Donaldson, Richard Odie, Christina Ryan, and Blake Henderson, your top 24. All of them on the lead lap. Attrition begins here. Lee Frazier 1 lap down. Pacey Wygant 3 laps down. Bobby Blowers 5 laps down. The last to see the checkered flag in 27th. Eli Sasek in 28th. The first of the long list of retirements here. Tucker Sawyer, Elias Flores. Ascent Racing had a bad night tonight. Josh Susi in 31st. Byron Jones, Davis Mule Jr., Alfred Denny, DJ Anderson, Marcus Chafin. Your top 36 tonight. Derek Miller, Jason Scott, Casey Ellis, the last drivers that started this race. Nick Pressey did not start. Blue Jay did not qualify here in Vegas. Post-race interviews coming up here, presented by Henderson Graphics. A wild, wild event here in Las Vegas, and it was attrition-based. Nothing yet from Steven Oberstadt or from Bren Roberts, so we'll go ahead and we'll talk to a 19-time race winner here tonight, Caitlin Height, victorious here in Las Vegas. Had to climb to the field to do it, but job well done. 32 spots gained from 33rd to 1st. Walk us through it, Caitlin.
I have no idea how that happened tonight. I don't even really deserve to be up here because somewhere between practice and the race, the bounce of the car completely went away. Front end was just plowing, couldn't get within 4 to 5 tenths of a car in front. It just, ugh, it was dreadful. Then, throughout the race, you have people diving it in 77 car lengths back, side drafting 77 millimeters from your quarter panels, and just, people on the 77th row of each restart trying to, like, dictate the start of it. And I don't know what was going on. It was just, the race itself was frustrating. I didn't deserve to win. I don't know what happened to Emily there, but between her and Bren, I think that's who it was probably going to come down to. I just lucked out here.
Survival of the fittest. Sometimes that is the case. Oftentimes that is the case here in Las Vegas. This time it favors you pretty well here. A winner in Las Vegas. Open setups now in session, though, and a road course up next. We head to wine country, head to Sonoma. What is the feeling going into there? We know how good you are on the road courses with open setups now. Does Sonoma look a little bit more appealing, and is there a chance to go back-to-back there?
Maybe. I know that Susie's going to have some sort of magic worked out for himself, so who knows? I don't know if there's going to be any sort of changes to the geometry or the tire this build, so if there is something that I might have in store there, I have no idea. So it's going to be a surprise.
Our racing update tomorrow going to be interesting to see for sure. Everyone's going to be tinkering pretty hardcore for Sonoma and for Phoenix in 2 weeks' time. A phenomenal race, 19 wins. This is your 100th start. You're the only driver so far to win on start number 100. So pretty good accolades, pretty good milestones all around here.
Oh my God, I'm old.
It's been a little bit. You're in the top 10 as far as starts are concerned, and 19 wins is no joke. You've won almost a fifth of the starts you've made. That's a pretty good ratio, I think, all things considered. Before we let you go, obviously let you celebrate the race win, but also get ready for the week ahead. If there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Always fun seeing you battle at the front of the field, and you had to work for it tonight, getting through the field from 33rd to 1st in your 100th start.
Yeah, thanks, Carmen. First off, I want to thank you for putting on the broadcast each week and all the other broadcasts that you do and all the extra content on your Patreon. Everyone subscribe to that. Good stuff. The admins at HTL, always putting on the show each week and trying to corral us each week into behaving. Shout out to all the fans watching at home. Especially want to say a thank you to Al, Chris, Jamie, and Noah might be watching, so if he is, that's cool. Big shout out to E83 Flying Machines and all the dolls back in the shop there for giving me something to work with, even though I don't know what happened, so I'll might have to investigate that, but otherwise, yeah.
19 career race wins in HTL Cup Series competition for Caitlin Height, extending that record in her 100th start. Caitlin, congratulations. Hopefully we get to talk to you again in Sonoma in 7 days' time, but enjoy the race win, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, Carmen.
A phenomenal job for Caitlin Height here tonight. Did a phenomenal job to grab this race win from 33rd on the grid. We'll go in descending order here. Since we already interviewed the race winner, typically we go in ascending order from 3rd to 1st. We'll talk from 1st to 3rd. So let's move to Steven Oberstadt. So close to a second race win in HTL Cup Series competition, yet just a fingertip away from such a race win. A good result, though. The team looked fast all night long. Austin Mongold almost got a top 10 there at the end. Obviously, Dale Markowski was good there until he got spun out late on. Dustin Hall was good until he spun out late on. You and Bren working together, trying the best that they could to get things put together here. Walk us through it. Those cars look bad fast tonight.
Oh yeah, it was a really good set. So really appreciate Dustin and Team Conti. I mean, that thing was just an absolute rocket, and it definitely makes a difference. I'm opening my eyes a little bit on what a real race car good setup is, and you got to just not screw up. But there at the end, I mean, it was really fast. I don't know if I had anything for Katie there. Maybe if the run was a little bit longer, but all in all, pretty happy with how things went tonight. Actually got to finish the race for once this season, so loving that.
The team has started off hot. Obviously, a 1-2 in Atlanta a week ago, a 2-3 here in Atlanta, a chance for a hiccup in the road with Sonoma next week, but then we get back to Phoenix and the gauntlet begins again. What is the feeling for this team, though? This team looks really good. It looks everyone hopes they make a step forward between seasons. It looks like this team legitimately has done so and has taken a pretty large step forward. Is that what it feels like inside the team right now?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, my brother is going to be fast. Bren obviously is one of, if not the fastest person out there, it seems like every week. So we're just trying to bring up, at least stay close to him. And then, we're going to have good finishes, but we just have a good group. It's just fun to kind of get in VC with all the people on our team, and it just makes it more enjoyable. And then you add in the fact that, we've got Team Conti and Dustin kind of in our fold. So it's just a kind of iron sharpens iron deal there. We've got good drivers, and now we got really good sets. So no excuses. As long as we don't, screw the pooch, we should be all right.
That being said, a great way to start off the season. A win in Atlanta, a 2-3 here in Las Vegas with Sonoma coming up. Obviously, the team's going to throw what they can at it. The new update's going to probably change some things coming up tomorrow as well. Before we let you go and let you obviously celebrate the podium and get ready for the week ahead, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. A phenomenal drive. It was a lot of fun seeing that car in the top 10 practically all night tonight.
Yeah, it was good. Felt like a real racer here in HTL for a little bit, so that was fun. Obviously, once again, shout out to Dustin, Team Conti, for bringing the heat. Shout out Bren and all my teammates. Dale had a good run going. Austin had a good run going. Dustin actually was having a really good run. So appreciate all them, and shout out to Henderson Graphics. Blake made this car look damn good. It didn't do too well the first couple of weeks, but there's no reason to not make a 3-car run up front. So I'm just doing my best and trying my hardest, and we're just going to keep on going. Not exactly the best road racer, so we're just going to try to keep all 4 on the pavement next week and see if we can finish in the teens, and then get onto the real racetrack. So I'm excited. I feel like I'm starting to get some confidence with this car. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. So I appreciate you, Carmen, as well. Hope you're feeling all right. We appreciate all that you do, and very supportive of everything you got going on. So but yeah, full speed ahead, and let's next week is kind of whatever, and then I'm really looking forward to Phoenix.
We're looking forward to the rest of the season as well. It's greatly appreciated. Steven Oberstadt, second place tonight here in Las Vegas. Well-earned result for the number 3 camp. And as you mentioned, a really good looking race car as well. We'll see you next week in Sonoma, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you at some point beyond just Las Vegas. Phoenix coming up here in 2 weeks' time. Short Oval ace Steven Oberstadt might be a challenger in Arizona in 2 weeks. Congratulations, Steven.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be talking next week. So let's pencil in Phoenix. We'll see you then.
Absolutely. Fantastic job, Steven Oberstadt. Second place tonight for Beagle Denny Racing, part of the 2-3 effort here in Las Vegas. And we'll move to Bryn Roberts, our third place finisher tonight. Points leader still. That's not in jeopardy here. Back-to-back podiums, a win in a third place, similar to how he drove it last season. He finished in third place here, so back-to-back thirds in Sin City. Bryn Roberts, walk us through it. That was a difficult race. That car had pace at points, but it was like the constant resets, the 12 cautions definitely made it a start-stop nature. How difficult was it to get that car fired up on the restarts there?
Yeah, I don't even want to go back and look. I think I may have had like 3 or 4 of the worst restarts in iRacing history, but at least I know I have something to go back and work on. But we'll figure it out. I to be honest, I felt like I had the best car really all race. What's interesting from last season before we started working with Dustin and Team Conti is, we'd get up front in these open set races, and that would be because, we stayed ahead of really our luck. We kind of ended up on the right side of things. Here, with the way the cautions fell, we were way out of whack, especially there like lap 50, lap 75, lap 100. Even though we finished up front in stage 2, we were way behind, and still we were able to come back and finish up front. Me and Steven, second and third. So to do that, I mean, it really has a good outlook for the rest of the season.
We know how good this team has been. We talked to Steven just a minute ago, and he felt like the team had made a significant jump forward. This team, it felt like they were beginning to find their feet last season with the open setups. When we moved from fixed to open, the team had won several races in the fixed setup time. Moved to open setup, it seemed like a reset. Steven Oberstedt won at Darlington, a hard race to win anyway, and it seemed like the curve was beginning to go back upwards. Does it feel, now that we've done obviously some speedway races and now we've done an open setup race, that the trajectory is real and that there is an upward trend there, not just for you, not just for Patrick, but for the entire team? Because you had 5 cars tonight that all had pace. They were all top 15 as far as single lap pace went tonight. And obviously a 2-3 tonight is no laughing matter. This team dominates at Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Last season, especially the championship 8, I was lost, to be honest. I mean, Patrick and Steven and Dale, they all still ran good, but I was out to left field, and to come out here and race as well as we did, and like I said, I really feel like I had one of the best cars. It really gives a big confidence booster to know that maybe I'm not washed, and I won't be in that washed driver compilation that you see on Twitter every now and then. But yeah, I mean, a lot of fun. Thanks to Team Conti and Dustin, really.
Sonoma coming up next. It is going to be a difficult race. We know that there's some road course ringers sitting in the wings, waiting and rubbing their hands ready for next week. But then the calendar, I think, lines up pretty well for what the team's strengths traditionally have been. After Sonoma next week, you've got Phoenix, you got Kansas, Talladega on July 13th. Those are some pretty good races coming up. Is the vibe that those races are going to be circled races for the team?
Yeah, vibe's great. Specifically for Sonoma, we'll take it one race at a time. I hope to have a top 10 day there. I usually am able to get through the chaos at some of these road course races and squeak out a top 10. So we'll hope to do that. I'll test for my teammates who are better at road courses, even on the Tombstone and Unforgiven side, and try to help them as best as I can. I know I won't be in race winning contention, but we'll see what we can do and hopefully hold on to the points lead.
Points leader going into Las Vegas, points leader going out. Didn't need to gamble for anything there. Bryn Roberts, 3rd place here in Las Vegas. Before we let you go and let you celebrate and get ready for next week in Wine Country, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congratulations on the podium tonight.
Well, thanks to you for the broadcast, first of all. I'm sure with those back-to-back cautions there to end the race, maybe not the most fun, but yeah, thanks to you for always doing this. Thanks to Team Conti and Dustin, like I've said. Thanks to Henderson Graphics for the paint scheme. And obviously this was the Kyle Busch race, Kyle Busch tribute race. So nothing I can say that nobody else has. But when I first started watching NASCAR, the only drivers that were left were Denny and Kyle. And so my entire race watching, life, I've known Kyle Busch. So it's been a tough couple weeks to not see him out there on the racetrack, but I'm glad that this Cheddar's paint scheme that he did so well in 2023 with I could bring to a podium.
A phenomenal job here for Bryn Roberts, the number 8 in Las Vegas on podium in third place. Bryn Roberts, congratulations on the podium. Well said. It's a lot of fun seeing that 8 car running as well. We got to ride on board for a period of time with that 8 car as well. It felt a little eerie, but also very symbolic. Congratulations on that, and we'll see you again in Sonoma next week.
Thank you.
For everyone watching on YouTube, that'll do it for your coverage here tonight. For Patreon, we have AB and Victory Lane coming up. So stick around and stay with us. We have more interviews coming up. We have 4 of them coming up, actually, at the AB and Victory Lane post-race show. On behalf of everyone here for YouTube, we'll say goodnight to you for now. We'll see you again tomorrow night for the HTL Challenger Series from Fontana. On behalf of everyone here for HTL, for AB and Studios, good night, YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow. For Patreon, we'll see you again very shortly. Stay tuned.